Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2017 Japanese samurai action movie called Blade of the Immortal. The movie is adapted from a manga series of the same name, which focuses on an immortal samurai named Manji, hired by a young orphan girl Rin to avenge the death of her parents. The movie begins with Manji, a skilled samurai, on the run with his insane sister Maki, whose husband Manji killed some time ago. When he is drinking water from a river, a mysterious old woman appears, asking him about his regret for having killed so many people, including Maki's husband. Maki suddenly disappears, causing Manji to cut off his conversation with the old woman and find her. She is held hostage by a group of bounty hunters who are after his head. Manji annihilates the entire group after they fatally injure Maki. He is hurt badly, missing a hand, and hopes to die beside his sister's body. Turns out the mysterious old woman reappears, introducing herself as Yabikuni. Despite Manji's plea for her to end his life, she injects him with sacred bloodworms that would treat his wounds, even reattaching his hand, and causing him to be ageless and immortal. 50 years later, Ito Ryu, a group of master swordsmen led by Onotsu Kagehisa, is determined to conquer every single dojo, or martial arts academy, in the country. Refusal to Ito Ryu's offer would lead to the dojo members being slaughtered. Kagehisa easily defeats Master Asano in a quick duel and abducts his wife but warns his men to not touch Asano's daughter, Rin, who is just a young girl. Rin is keen on learning sword fighting despite her family's dismay. Left alone in grief, Rin swears to avenge her parents. The Yabikuni appears before her at her father's grave and suggests she hire an immortal, skilled samurai as her bodyguard. She is determined and then goes a long way to find him, but Manji does not want to work for her at first. He does not want to murder people anymore, however, he pities Rin and agrees to escort her back home. Along the way, they encounter an Ito Ryu member, Kuroi Sabato, who tortured and took Rin's mother. He gives Rin some of her mother's hair and even shows her decapitated head that he mounts on his shoulder. Rin is shocked as Sabato prepares to take her too. Manji shows up and defeats him. Sabato successfully strikes a fatal blow at Manji, but due to his abilities, Manji can heal himself, leaving Rin in awe. Manji agrees to train Rin and protects her until she can avenge her parents. Kagehisa talks with Hibaki, a government representative, about an agreement to put Ito Ryu in the shogunate and make him the head of the new martial arts academy. He then receives news of Sabato's death and is confused as he knows Rin is not that skilled to take down one of his best assassins. Meanwhile, Rin is sharpening Manji's knives and daggers in the town market when she notices a man using her father's sword. That man is Taito Magatsu, sent by Kagehisa to deal with Kuroi's murderers. Manji learns of him from Rin and quickly heads to challenge Magatsu. Manji wins the fight, leaving Magatsu badly injured. After mistaking Rin for Maki, Rin finally learns that she reminds Manji of his deceased sister, although he refuses to talk further about it. The injured Magatsu receives treatment at the Ito Ryu base and reports to Kagehisa that an immortal swordsman is hired as Rin's bodyguard. Rin and Manji travel to a village and they stop by for a meal. Manji is reading a map about every dojo conquered by the Ito Ryu when another Ito Ryu swordsman, Iku Shitsuma, posing as a monk, approaches him. He expresses that he would like Manji to join him so they can defeat Kagehisa together. Manji denies the offer as his gut feeling tells him that something is not right. Enraged, Shitsuma draws his sword, then they fight ruthlessly. Turns out Shitsuma is also immortal for a longer period than Manji. He poisons his sword to weaken the bloodworms and slows down Manji's self-healing abilities. However, Manji is determined to protect Rin despite his own wishes to end his immortality, so he defeats Shitsuma. Later at the town market, Manji and Rin encounter Maki, another Ito Ryu member. Although gaining the upper hand, Maki could not bring herself to murder Manji even though she has severed his limbs. She questions whether Ito Ryu's motives are the right thing to do, then she observes Rin standing up for Manji although she is not as skilled as him. Maki decides not to end their lives and leaves. Although slowly, Manji can still recover. He scolds Rin for defending himself because she is not supposed to do that. He tells her to train alone as he has something to do that day, which is visiting Maki's grave. Rin wanders alone, then encounters Kagehisa. She is surprised to find that he does not attack her. He explains that he murdered her father to avenge his grandfather. Kagehisa's grandfather was banished from the dojo led by Rin's great-grandfather because he used an axe, which was considered an outsider weapon and not fit for their fighting style. Arriving back at Manji's crib, Rin does not tell him that he encountered Kagehisa and knew the truth about their ancestors. The next day, Rin and Manji encounter Mugai Ryu, another swordsman clan, after seeing one of its members, Shira, defeating another Ito Ryu member. Shira brings them to Mugai Ryu's hideout where they meet other members. They explain that they need to stay hidden so that the Ito Ryu will not realize that they have two enemies, then offer Manji and Rin to join them to defeat Ito Ryu together. Based on their spy disguising himself as an Ito Ryu member, Kagehisa will visit Mount Takao. They form a plan to attack him along his way by dividing themselves into two groups that will take different routes. Manji, Rin, and Shira are grouped together. Along the way, they notice a mysterious figure resembling Kagehisa, so they prepare to attack him. Shira strikes a blow to his face, which turns out to be a woman hired by the Ito Ryu. At the same time, other Ito Ryu members appear from behind the trees and they realize that they have been trapped. Manji and Shira fight the Ito Ryu members until they are all defeated. After that, Shira attempts to harass the hired woman. Rin stands up for her, but Shira easily injures her. Luckily, before Shira tries to do anything with Rin, Manji cuts off one of his hands, causing him to escape. Manji realizes he cannot work with the Mugai Ryu, especially Shira, due to their different principles. Back home, Manji treats Rin's wounds and tells her his full story. He was ordered by his superior to murder several men, which turned out to be the men who would have reported his superior's crimes. Believing that he worked for the wrong cause, Manji betrayed his superior and murdered him and his bodyguards instead. Turns out one of his bodyguards was Maki's husband. His death greatly affected her, sending her into madness, then Manji took her under his care. He warns Rin that if she stands up to defend him again, he will quit working for her. Believing that she only caused Manji trouble, Rin runs away the next day, continuing her quest for revenge on her own while Manji is outside. He is approached by other members of the Mugai Ryu, who ask him where Shira is. He explains he cannot continue working with them anymore. They explain that they must defeat Ito Ryu because they are facing death sentences from the government. After realizing Rin is gone, Manji frantically goes after her. Meanwhile, Kagehisa reaches Mount Takao and meets with Ibane Kenshui, the head of Shinkato Ryu. Although he is warmly welcomed, he soon learns that they will not join Ito Ryu. Disappointed, he leaves, while his comrades back home celebrate a supposedly successful deal. Turns out Hibaki has betrayed the Ito Ryu by sending government swordsmen to capture Kagehisa and the Ito Ryu clan. The entire Ito Ryu clan is annihilated at their base while Kagehisa, running from the army, encounters Rin, and takes no interest in her as he is busy fighting government swordsmen. Rin has no choice but to follow him to ensure her own safety. Kagehisa and Rin reach an entire village full of an army led by Hibaki. Rin screams at the army for not having an honor by attacking Kagehisa in an uneven fight and urges the battle to be a fair one-by-one sword fight. Hibaki orders his men to silence Rin. Fortunately, Manji shows up and defeats her attackers, although he is confused as to why Rin does not get his revenge on Kagehisa already and seems like she is protecting him instead. Rin tells him that his duty now is to defeat anyone who dares to attack her. A battle ensues between Manji, Rin, and Kagehisa against Hibaki and his men. Manji manages to survive despite being badly injured and bleeding in many places while Kagehisa fights seamlessly. Sometime during the fight, Shira arrives and abducts Rin, avenging Manji for severing one of his limbs. Manji makes his way out of the battle to encounter Shira again. He tricks Shira by giving up all his swords and daggers, but he conceals a small dart that he uses to free Rin from Shira's ties. He then sends Shira to his death, falling from a cliff. Meanwhile, Maki also arrives at the battle scene and helps Kagehisa. She senses gunpowder and positions herself to block bullets from hitting Kagehisa, sacrificing herself. He continues fighting until there is only Hibaki left. Although weakened and heavily bleeding, Kagehisa still manages to chop off Hibaki's upper body. He then encounters Manji and Rin again, thanking them for keeping him alive against Hibaki's men. Now Manji wants to continue fighting him properly, completing his quest to avenge Rin's parents. They fight ruthlessly, but in the end, Manji wins. He offers his last fatal blow to Rin so she can truly avenge his parents, but Rin hesitates, causing Kagehisa to counterattack her instead. Luckily, Manji positions himself in her way, taking the hit. Rin quickly stabs Kagehisa right through the chest. After Kagehisa's last breath, Rin cries for Manji whom she thinks is dying. She cries that he does not fulfill his promise to die after her. Turns out, Manji is still alive despite his bad wounds and replies to her that she should call him Big Brother, just like Maki did. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.